What up, my guys? Welcome to the first show, man. It's NFL Talk with J Money and the Shark. We're trying to get some cash every single day, man. No matter what sport it is, we're here to break you down with the top plays, the top vibes. You see what I'm saying? Top energy. We got our guy Shark back with us, man, on the show. What's up with you, Shark? We missed you, my brother. How you been?
I miss you guys. I miss you, Jay. Personally, I miss the chat. The YouTube chat on this channel is live, and it's liver than anything on the internet, I swear to God. Beautiful Thursday afternoon here, September 8th, 2022. I dropped a play on August 6th. I've been waiting over a month for this day. And Jay, we've been waiting for this month since the NBA Finals. And of course, we will be playing and we will be capping and we will be going all the way through next June. Hundreds of shows, an opportunity to dominate. Lead the way, Jay. Let's get into it.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands of shows, my guys. Can't wait. Hopefully, we'll get to millions of shows, man. We love to do it for you guys. As you know, it's all business here on this channel. You see what I'm saying? It's Thursday Night Football, opening night of the NFL season 2022-23 campaign. You got the Bills laying 2.5, Shark, versus the defending champs, LA Rams, getting 2.5 points, man. You have to go back a while to see when champions, Super Bowl champs are the dog open up the season here, Shark. They did open up as -1, since moved to -2.5 on the Bills side. Do you agree with it, my brother?
I do. And of course, you guys know very well, I do not look at the market and tell the market. But what I do look at is a suddenly not so casual Thirsty Thursday, September 8th, 2022. Official play. We are going straight business right off the bat. 2-unit special. And a lot to look at here. Jay obviously mentioned it, but you have to go back to last year. Of course, this is the first game of the season. What did the Rams do last year? They won the Super Bowl, the ultimate high. And you talk about small emotional moments, letdowns, and upticks. This is a big letdown spot. And people want to talk about one thing. Sean McVay, 5-0 in his career in openers. That is a very contaminated stat. Let me give you a little information on that right now. Those 5 opponents: Indianapolis, Oakland, Carolina, Dallas, Chicago. 6-11, 6-10, 5-11, 4-12, 4-12. And what you really look at in terms of the Bills coming into this game, the Bills are the Super Bowl favorite by Vegas. They have the highest team total future at 11.5, also juiced. And go back to January. The last time we saw Josh Allen and the boys on a professional football field, it was Arrowhead Stadium. It was icy cold, and it was professional football at its finest. 42-36, multiple touchdowns in the last 2 minutes. Absolutely electric stuff. And the Bills went home that day, and Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs went forward to the AFC Championship, where they did lose to the Bengals. And I made this comment numerous times throughout the month of August, Jay. That game for me was the best game in the playoffs. Those were the 2 best teams. And sometimes in professional sports, the 2 best teams don't meet in the championship. They play in the same conference. The regular season played out in a certain way versus their records. They played in the second round. And you saw what happened with the Chiefs in the AFC title game. They had nothing left against the Bengals. And then, of course, when the Bengals got through the Super Bowl, the Rams got them by 3 points in a backdoor in the fourth quarter. And final point on this, when you look at the Rams, 9-1 in their last 10 ball games, won their last 3 games by 3 points, had to come back in the fourth quarter at home against the Niners in the NFC title game. And of course, in the Super Bowl, they were down going into the fourth quarter as well. Tonight, it all reverses. 5-0, Sean McVay. You had a nice sample against the bottom feeders. The Buffalo Bills are the class of football. The line is strong. The steam is strong. The situation is strong. 2-unit banger, -2 official. Jay?
I love it, man. My guy in the chat, like, yo, I might have to eat some buffalo wings. It's real simple with me, guys. When I look at the NFL, I like the faith, the Super Bowl champ, guys. Like Shark said, really, this is really an angle that kind of goes across all sports. It doesn't hit every single time, but when you look at the emotional letdown for the Super Bowl champs or for the champions, and you get the emotional uptick for the team that's trying to prove to everyone that they can ball out as well, guys. So NBA, baseball, hockey, football, I think this is an angle that'll hit 70% across time. But you like Shark said, it's emotional letdown, right? What are you doing over the course of the offseason? First off, there's probably a little less working out, right? You're the champs now. You're going on a little bit longer vacation. You're going to your high school, your college, showing off the trophy, showing off your ring everywhere. It's a level of complacency there and a level of rust as well. We know the Rams don't play a ton of their guys in the preseason. The Bills don't either, but guys, the Bills could literally win the Super Bowl this year. They're by a lot of people's power ratings and mine as well. The Bulls are the top team in the NFL and one of the most balanced teams offensively and defensively as well. I think the Rams are about to run into a jigsaw here tonight, man. And got Von Miller over there as well. Maybe can give them some pointers. Hey, look, the Rams like to do this. McVay likes to run these type plays, so and so like that. So I like it's a real box checker, like my guy Shark says, but it's real simple to me. I'm fading the Rams, who I was on them to win the Super Bowl. But now they're going up against some big dogs. As Shark said, these aren't one of those little cupcake teams that you're facing in week one. You're going up against the real deal here to start it off. A lot of people saying, why are the Rams the dog here? They're being disrespected. I think the books just know the Rams aren't the same team as last year, guys. Last year, they were pretty much loaded. This year, they're still loaded, but not as much as last year. They'll likely take a step down where the Bills take a step up, Shark. And this is basically a must-win spot for the real Bills. If you're trying to show the world here that you're the Super Bowl champs, Shark, you ready to go to another game or you more points on this one? Oh, and one thing, Shark, I did take the first half under in this one, little small play, but under 25.5 for the first half. The offense, neither offense has played a ton in the preseason, so you could likely see some rust there. And Stafford, I think that they're not really letting us know how bad he really is injured on his elbow. I don't think he's 100%. He'll be playing, but may not see many downfield passes by Stafford, little dinks and dunks. I like the defense to be ahead of the offenses here in the first half, under 25.5 first half, Shark.
Yeah, there's a handful of more points. We can definitely go on for a few more minutes. I obviously discussed this on Twitter, a lot of counterpoints. We love you guys for the discussion. We talk about this all the time. Conversation wins in this life. So anybody in the Rams, best of luck, and we appreciate the debate. Debate wins. But talking about that, my guy says, how did the Bills fare in game one? I'm sure he's referencing really a lackluster game one last year at home against Pittsburgh. But I always talk about this in the NBA. Situational analysis matters. That was a game against a very lackluster, scrappy defensive team coming into Buffalo. And Buffalo just purely laid an egg in their home stadium. Now ripe in their mind, coming into this prime time environment. SoFi Stadium, 8:20 p.m. here, the opener of the season. This is the polar opposite level of emotion and focus you're going to see from the Bills here tonight. And speaking on that, last year, looking at the Bills in terms of their game dispersion, it's fascinating stuff. The Bills had 11 wins, and they were all by double digits. Let me repeat that. 11 wins. Every single game they won was by double digits. When they show up, they blow you the fuck out. And when they lost ball games, they lost 6 games. 5 out of their 6 losses were by one possession, and they were 0-5 straight up in one-score games. That's a statistic that should actually go the Bills' direction this season. Inevitably, they're not going to win all their games by double digits. There will be tight games, but this team is not destined to go 0 for the century in one-score games. And, of course, the ultimate example of that was 42-36 in the divisional round of the playoffs in Kansas City. That's all I have on it. Actually, I do have one more point. Why not drop it? Last year, a corollary point, Rams home game. The only time the Rams played an AFC contender last year at home in the regular season, they did lose 28-16 to Tennessee. Tennessee and the Bills play each other tight, reasonable corollary. And I will mention it again, Tennessee did get them 28-16 last year in the regular season.
I love the corollaries, my guy. We love the corollary spots when you drop them off. I got the Bills socks on, my guys. I ordered these way back when. Let's just put it this way. I knew that I was going to be on the Bills ever since they were +1 this game. So the guys are saying, oh, that they're the dog. They Rams did open up -1 before people kind of woke up like, oh, okay. the Bills are some big dogs here. Maybe they shouldn't be the dog of these games, but this is the NFL. There's variance. Anything can happen, guys. We're definitely not coming on here telling you that, you know what I'm saying, this is guaranteed, you know what I'm saying, but we're telling you the side that we're betting on, it's a 50-50 chance, and we're liking our chance with the Bills, guys. So if you're in the Rams, hey, it's all love and respect. Best of luck to you, but I'm trying to stack some Bills tonight, man. I put some on first half under 25.5. Also on Bills, I'm on them +1 and -1.5, guys. So I need the Bills to win the game. Still like the 2.5. I see the Bills winning this game by more than a touchdown. I wouldn't talk anyone out of playing them on the alternate line as well, guys. So let's see what happens in this one. See if Stafford can throw the ball more than 20 yards downfield after a while. But sure, let's try to get to some more games, man. Let's go rapid fire here real quick. I won't have a ton to say, my brother, so it's on you. If you have some on it, you can drop them off. If not, you know what I'm saying, we can get to the next one. Baltimore Ravens. Go to the streets of New York here, Shark. You're somewhere you like the streets of New York. The Jets getting 7 points versus the Ravens. I don't like the Lamar Jackson situation. He says if they don't have a contract by Friday, then I guess he's alluding to he's not playing. I don't know. A lot going on with that, guys. So if you are betting the Ravens, you might want to keep up with that. And that's tomorrow. Shark, what you like it?
Yeah, actually, I was watching last night the most recent press conference. He said because he negotiates his own contract. He's his own agent. He said if they don't get a deal done by tomorrow, he's on to the Jets. He didn't say I'm sitting out. He said he's on to the Jets.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. And he said something. He's going to bet on himself again, and this and that, playing out, I believe, the 5th year of his rookie contract. But that being said, actually, the Ravens are going on our official card for the Circa Millions competition in Las Vegas. I haven't dropped it officially. I have not played it financially myself yet. But, of course, the Circa Millions, you need 5 plays. This is going to be one of our 5 plays. Ravens -7. And there's a lot to look at here, ultimately. Of course, Lamar Jackson situation stands for itself as a player. But when you go back to last year, Lamar Jackson got hurt, and they finished the season with the kid out of Utah, I believe, Huntley. And the team lost 6 straight ball games to close the season last year. So if you really look at what we talk about in sports, you want to find buy low spots, and you want to find buy low spots on playoff caliber teams. And the Ravens are absolutely a playoff caliber team, and they did lose the last 6 games of last year. And they were 1-7 on the road ATS last year. 1-7. And you look at what's going on here with the Jets. Obviously, the kid out of BYU, I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head, got injured in the first or second preseason game and some sort of knee injury. So they're playing, I believe, Joe Flacco. Yeah, Zach Wilson, 100%. So you're getting a backup quarterback. Joe Flacco, of course, is the ultimate enigma. Obviously, Super Bowl champion going back about a decade ago. This guy is very, very pedestrian. He's been lackluster most of his career outside of one isolated playoff run. And we just are looking at this dynamic. The Ravens are going to come in here pissed off. The Ravens need to set the tone this year. And I think the fact they've lost 6 in a row really speaks for itself. We're on the Ravens at -7, 1 unit here.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off. I couldn't talk you off that, my guys. Obviously, it's Ravens or nothing. I mean, I'm not taking the Jets. It is one of those games though, where obviously everyone's going to be fading the Jets. Ravens are nothing for sure in that way. Maybe a nice little teaser spot, in my opinion. That's what I did. I didn't lay the points, but definitely think the Ravens get out of there with the win. Let's go over here to the streets of Atlanta real quick. Probably one of the bottom 4 teams in the league. They do have elements of surprise though. Mariota over there got some nice tight ends. A lot of young guys over there. I'm not sure. I know divisional home underdogs in week 1 is a plus EV bet. Not necessarily saying I'm taking the Falcons, but I kind of lean that way. I'm not betting the game, Shark.
Yeah, I mean, this is, again, we talk about the reason why the NBA is so amazing to cap is because you get 82 games over, 6.5 months. The NFL is just by nature data deficient, but this is fairly data abundant. You go back to last year, the teams did play each other to close the season last year, I believe on January 9th. And New Orleans did go into Atlanta and win the game 30-20 on a -4.5. This game opened at 5.5. So line functionality is definitely an NBA capping point, but having scaled the NFL for a period of time myself, it applies best within divisional matchups. Of course, this is a divisional matchup. They will play twice this year. And when you beat a team by 10 on the road at 4.5 and it comes in at 5.5, it's showing strength. And again, Atlanta with Marcus Mariota at quarterback, this team is expected to be one of the worst 3 teams in the sport. New Orleans is also in flux to a degree. Obviously, Sean Payton is no longer the coach. Dennis Allen, DC, for the last 6 years, I believe, coached the Raiders from 2012 2014 without success. Obviously, he's been in this system for a long time. He should have continuity coming through here. I would lean New Orleans to cover this. I think there will be some chalk on this board this week. This would be one of the chalk if I had to. I'm not playing it, though.
Another one, guys, Winston. You got to worry about these quarterbacks, especially when they have some type of offseason surgery or they're not necessarily 100% or haven't been practicing the whole season. When you're a quarterback, you need to be in rhythm. Like, I mean, obviously you can practice and work out and get rid. But if you haven't been practicing, you come off injuries. I'm worried about the Winstons. I'm worried about the Staffords, the Joe Burrows. I'm worried about that. The quarterback is the most important player, obviously, on the field. You guys know that. So I'm worried about Winston. I wouldn't lay points with them on the road in week one. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. Maybe the Saints next week, but it's just one of those spots where I know a lot of people look straight to fading the Falcons, and week one is where the trash teams actually have a leg up because the season isn't over yet. As the season progresses, they'll quit on their team, all this. But week one, you know what I'm saying? You can start out 1-0, 2-0. You never know what happens. So I actually lean Falcons there, but definitely not betting the game. Let's go over to the hot streets of Miami here, Shark. If you like the Dolphins, you should have got them at 2.5, guys. Sitting at 2.5 all summer, hit up to 3, then now 3.5, guys. So it's past that key number, but a lot of hype surrounding the Dolphins with Tyreek Hill on the opposite side of Waddle over there. Can Tua get him the ball? That's a whole nother question, Shark. But the Patriots, year 2 of Mac Jones, my brother. How you liking this game?
This is incredibly tough. This game, there's probably 2 or 3 that are really just blind darts, in my opinion. This is one of them. It's really tough to figure out. You know, of course, going back over the last quarter century, the Patriots have dominated the Dolphins, but the Patriots have not dominated the Dolphins in Miami. Tom Brady used to have nightmares traveling to Miami. It was his worst venue traveling. I believe it was Miami and Denver. They just could not play on the road. But it's something about the humidity, the atmosphere, what's going on there. It's hot, as you said. It's touristy. It's glamorous, whatever. They just don't travel well there at all. Last year, they did get hammered on the road there, I believe by 9, I think 33-24. The opener last year was Miami at New England, 17-16 Miami win. I think Miami has won 4 in a row in this matchup, which does lean a little bit to a buy low with the Patriots. But again, I just don't know what to make of the Patriots. Mac Jones, as you mentioned, last year, Patriots did not open up the playbook for this guy. They kind of, handled him down. It was kind of what they did with Brady in his first season back in 2001. A lot of check downs, not a lot of downfield stuff, a lot of running game, defensive football. They might open it up in year 2. I think year 3 or 4, if he sustains, will be more so of that environment. I know some sharp guys that are on the Patriots this week. I'm not on them. I can't predict this game. As you mentioned, Tyreek Hill coming over here. This team is a bye team, theoretically, based on personnel. But the question you always ask yourself, will it mesh? Will the psychology mesh? Tyreek Hill has had documented off-the-field issues, domestic violence, bit of hot-headedness. Andy Reid was very good at managing that. Now you come down to Miami, Tua at the helm, young quarterback, not Patrick Mahomes. This is one of those things that could go incredibly right or incredibly wrong. I think there's not a lot of middle ground with what's going to happen with Tyreek Hill at Miami.
Yeah, that's facts right there. Shar, we talk about it all the time. The Patriots had owned the Dolphins for so long. That was even with Tom Brady, which they still always struggle with playing the Dolphins, obviously the division opponent, especially in Miami. But now it's ever since he's left, that's when the Dolphins really kind of start to, like we always say, now they're due to own the Patriots for the while. But you do get the divisional opponent that lost back-to-back, that lost both times last year with the double revenge in theory. So a lot of counter narratives. In theory, I'd like to lean the Dolphins. I'm not a big fan of Mac Jones, but this is defense. This is definitely defense versus offense, in my opinion. So we know Belichick can coach his defense up really well and have them contained to it. It's a tough game there. I would have leaned Miami definitely at the 2.5. I'm not at the 3.5. My God, I could definitely actually see them winning the game by 3 points. It's definitely a key number in football. Let's go over here to the streets of Carolina here. You got the Panthers, a little revenge game, Jay here. You got Baker, the shorty man, Baker Mayfield, going up against his old team, man. Week 1, he said he's gonna fuck them up. Myles Garrett, like, all right, we're gonna see about that. So you got the Browns defense going up against this Panthers offense. Not necessarily sure we're gonna get out of Brissett here, Shark. In week 1, do you think the Panthers can get one over them real quick?
This is another one of those games I think is really difficult. If
Mm-hmm.
you go back to obviously Baker Mayfield coming over here against his old team, that's a great narrative for him wanting to really show out. Of course, he was, I believe, 0-3 in the openers going back the last 3 seasons with Cleveland. So that doesn't translate particularly well in terms of motivation. But again, Cleveland hasn't won an opener, I believe, in 17 years or something ridiculous. That's more the franchise and the organization than I think Baker Mayfield, obviously coming out of Oklahoma, the whole thing. But now you come over here, Carolina, Matt Rule, season 2, I believe. The problem I had with fading Cleveland, and believe me, I actually wanted to take Carolina here. I don't like fading Jacoby Brissett. I believe he's going to be the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like fading a team without Deshaun Watson, who I think is noticeably and within the media and some of their quotes pissed off, maybe not by the penalty to Deshaun or what's going on with that situation, but I think inspired by the fact that their starting quarterback is not there. Some guys like Myles Garrett and these guys, the leaders of the defense, basically saying, we're going to stand up and we're going to try to win games without Deshaun. He comes back, I think, week 11. We know we can hold court here and maybe be 500 by the time he comes back. Of course, elongated NFL season, 1 extra week, that matters. And I think this defense is going to show out. I don't know what to make of the game, but I do think that's enough of a counterpoint to not take Carolina here.
Yeah, no, that's fake. So this is definitely a toss-up game, and it had got as high as 2.5, now down to 1.5. It's actually kind of crazy, but I lean Panthers there. I actually think because you know how it is. If you get a good Baker Mayfield, he can like a fucking all-world quarterback. It's just when you get the bound, but it's actually crazy. I think Baker Mayfield be really turned up for this one and actually like try to have like a heroic type of performance. That's just the way I'm looking at the game. It's the only way I look. Probably not betting it. Let's get over here to the streets of Cincinnati here, guys. It's not this. I mean, it could be as simple as to fade the Super Bowl loser, but I really do think the guys that I know with inside info, they're not sold on Burrow right now. He hasn't practiced a ton. He had off-season surgery. You see what I'm saying? Didn't play in the preseason. Burrow, he's on. He could be one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. If he's rusty, guys, I mean, he's definitely the main player on that team. If he can't get the guys the ball on the outside, it's going to be like the Bengals could lose this game outright. And you have that angle of taking the division team with double revenge in the previous year. Steelers lost both meetings to the Bengals last year. They're getting 6.5 in this one, Shark. I like this. I like them Steelo here.
Yeah, this is tough. Again, this is one of those environments coming off the Super Bowl run. It's a letdown spot inherently as well. And you mentioned that Pittsburgh did get hammered by them twice last year. I think a sharp contrarian look is Pittsburgh. I'm not entirely sold personally on Mitchell Trubisky. Again, I think he's one of those guys that never really got a fair shot. Some quarterbacks just come into the league and just have poor scheme around them, and it never systems. Exactly. Yeah, and I think he should obviously improve. I mean, he was so pathetic before. It's hard to get any worse. But, theoretically, there's a buy element there. There is a buy element on Pittsburgh and a double revenge, as you mentioned, divisional game, and the letdown with the Bengals. The only counterpoint here for me is that the Bengals number is showing strength. Last year, Pittsburgh was -2.5 in the first one and did lose, and then it came stronger to -3.5 Cincinnati, another win, a blowout, 41-10. Now it's come up to 6.5. I think it's going to be sharp. I think you have a lot of great points. It's tough for me to predict.
Yeah, like I say, this one's mainly because of the info that I got on Burrow, which I think the Steelers can hang with them first of all. Anyway, and the Bengals, I feel like they got a lot of lucky in the playoffs last year. Burrow's a baller, man, but like I say, he's a appendectomy or some shit like that he got surgery on the offseason. There's 2 types of surgeries. There's one that can keep you out for a few weeks. There's other ones that he had the one that keep you out for months. I really don't think Burrow is coming into this season at 100%. That's what the insiders say, man. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens on Sunday. Let's get over here to the streets of the Bear. Going to the streets of Chicago real quick. Shar, you talk about the team that was damn, they turned into the Sacramento Kings of the NFL or what? What we got going on here? The 49ers heading on the road, not necessarily in a hurry to lay points with them, almost a full touchdown with Lance week 1, but at least they got Garoppolo back there if he starts to look bad. What do you think, Shark? Because I think the Bears might be the single worst team in the NFL.
Yeah, I think the Texans might be worse, but I think the Bears are pretty damn close. As you mentioned, an old school team with tons of history, Super Bowl wins, the 80s, even some reasonable efforts, Super Bowl run, I believe, in the mid-2000s at one point. But this team is just in shambles. And you look at Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a quarterback that could go one of two ways. He could really find it and become a really good running quarterback that stands in the pocket and reads the defense. I mean, last year, this kid was just a fish out of water. He was confused. He was under constant duress. The team provided essentially no skill set around him in any of the positions. Again, the problem with this game to cap, as you mentioned, Trey Lance, first start out of North Dakota State. San Francisco has big expectations this year. Of course, NFC title run last year. And you remember the last time the Niners went on a deep run and then replaced an older guard quarterback with a young athletic quarterback? Alex Smith replaced by Colin Kaepernick. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo replaced by Trey Lance. Trey Lance, Colin Kaepernick, slightly underrated, slightly undervalued. Nevada, North Dakota State, athletic as hell, can sling the rock. I think the Niners might have the exact same type of bump northward that they did when Kaepernick came in. I think they're going to become exciting, fast, really optimized. The swagger is going to come up big. I think this team's going to be good. I think this team's going to win double-digit games this year. The line is hover zone bullshit, really. 6.5 is terrible for a road favorite against a bad team. It's suggesting shortness, maybe a back door. Week 1, we don't know. A lot of points here, tough to cap, but I'm getting hyped up thinking about the Niners just talking about them right now.
Shark, it's the same kind of game as the Ravens versus Jets. Playoff team as well. Well, I mean, they did the 49ers, they didn't make them. They're a playoff caliber team.
It's not, though, because the Niners went deep in the playoffs last year, and the Ravens lost 6 in a row to close the season. So the teams come in from totally different angles and motivation coming into the year. That's the major cross-counterpoint there.
Oh, I can dig it. I can tell you this, guys. Little Jim here. Roquan Smith, they didn't pay him. He's going to play out the year. He doesn't care, guys. He's going to play to not get injured. He's going to play. Does this make sense? Okay, you folks don't want to play me. I'll play out the rest of this year. Make sure I don't get injured, so I'll go to the team that I want. He is the quarterback of that defense. If he doesn't care, it's going to be a long season for the Bears. They don't think that they're bottom feeders. Sorry. So that's one thing. They're saying, we're going to surprise some people. We're not that bad. So I think they're ass. That's just me, though, man. So we'll see what happens. 49ers definitely a good teaser selection, if you ask me. Expect them to win the game. I didn't lay the points with them, though. But that one should get ugly in theory. Just the 49ers defensive alone should hold the Bears up under 10 points, if you ask me, guys. So let's see what happens in that one. Let's go over here to the streets of Detroit. Hard Knocks, Shark. Lions getting a lot of love. I'll tell you this. I hope the Lions get smacked here. They are saying they remember game 1 from last year, Shark, when the Eagles smacked them up, I believe 44-6. I need the Lions to lose this game. It'll be a top spot in week 2, my brother.
Well, I got to say, I did not look at week 2. I barely got through week 1. But you mentioned it. October 31st, it was Halloween night last year, or Halloween during the day, whatever it was. But, yeah, 44-6. I mean, just an absolute demolition. And, I think at that point in time, people were not entirely sure if Dan Campbell was the right guy for this group. Maybe just a little bit too much of a bro. We talk about this all the time. Some guys are just too much of a player's coach. You don't have to be a dictator and an army general, but some guys are just way too young. Their mentality doesn't assert authority over the group. And you saw that last year. But, again, in Hard Knocks, you look at his staff. I mean, this staff is littered with ex-players. You got Deuce Staley, Aaron Glenn, Antoine Randall, a couple other guys. And these are smart guys. I mean, I love the competitive nature of Deuce Staley. I don't know if Deuce Staley is going to be a schematic mind to be a head coach, but that man's energy screams head coach. And obviously Aaron Glenn, super sharp player for the Jets in the 90s when the Jets were not particularly good, but I mean, a hell of a DB, just an assassin on the wing. I could get behind Detroit in some context. I do think this line is short. Of course, when you win 44-6, you come in at 4.5. It's a trap spot. Detroit will be pissed off. This could go one of two ways. It could be a Joe Public special, or contrarians could get there with Detroit. I have no freaking clue, to be perfectly honest.
That's a tough one. I'll tell you what I see. The Lions, what did they do last year? They went with like 11-5 against the spread, 11-5. They were terrible straight up, but they always stay in the game and they never stop fighting. I actually could see the Lions losing this game by 3. I'm not betting the game. I hope they lose the game. I believe they played Wash. Just know that I like the Lions next week, my guys. This Lions sitting at a pick right now. If everything happens the way I think it should, the Lions should close -3 next week, my brother. So I hope they look terrible week 1. So we can take them next week, man. I like the Lions. But in this particular game, a lot of love surrounding the Eagles, man. I'm talking about a lot of love. I'm seeing huge bets coming on them to win NFC East. There's a lot of love there. We know that they're loaded. AJ Green, the boys over there. We'll see if Hurts can make an improvement. You see what I'm saying? You got to be able to throw the ball down the field. You can't just drop back. Oh, first read there on the run. You can't do that. It's not how you win in the NFL. Maybe Lamar Jackson can do that, but the rest of y'all not him, man. Let's go over here to the streets of the Houston Texans here, Shark. This line was at 8 down to 7 here. So the Texans getting plenty of love here. I'm seeing some sharp top on the Texans here. I don't know, Sharp, because the Colts with Wentz very lackluster. This could be where now Matt Ryan, he's with a new team as well. He's older now, but has plenty of experience. He has a whole new team, a good defense this time around, good coaching, all of that. Matt Ryan might come over there and flourish, man. It could actually happen. But this game for week 1 is a toss-up, Shark. What are we doing?
Yeah, when I first saw the number at -8.5, I thought that was really sharp and just kind of a funky, hard to predict type of line. Now it's gotten steamed down, as you mentioned. I mean, there's got to be considerable sharp money coming in on this game on the Texans to move it 1.5 points down. That's a lot of movement for a matchup like this, which theoretically is not a marquee game to bet by any means. And as you mentioned, Matt Ryan comes over here, obviously Super Bowl backdoor 5 or 6 years ago, one of the worst losses in the history of the NFL. He's never gotten over the hump. He's obviously moving over here, hoping to get over the hump. AFC this year is, to a degree, open for business. I mean, there's definitely not one team that's just an absolute mortal lock. Mm-hmm. Great defense, great running game. They will be very good. I'm personally confused as to why there's money coming in on the Texans. The Texans last year were absolutely terrible. Davis Mills, Lovie Smith coming back to the NFL. Lovie Smith, speaking of the Bears, some of their better years, Lovie Smith coached the Bears to some pretty efficient outcomes going back, I believe, a decade ago or something before going to University of Illinois. Mm-hmm. So he's come back to the NFL, game 1. There will be motivation there. I mean, we talk about guys that can get their group ready for the first game just based on their own personal morale as a head coach. Lovie Smith is probably that guy for this group. That might be some of the reasoning behind the Texans buy for sharps or whatever it is. I'm nowhere near this game for an official. I really have no idea.
Yeah, I'm with you. The sharps are all over Texans here. I'm with you there, Shark. This is one to kind of wrap my head around it. I'm like, I can't join the sharps on this one. I'm looking at it. I can understand why they think the Texans will be a feisty underdog here, but I feel like the Colts are really may come into this season pissed off. They actually, like I say, any quarterback from Wentz is an upgrade in my opinion. So if Ryan can even just come in here and be somewhat pedestrian, don't turn the ball over. Just don't turn the ball over like Wentz did. And I mean, this game could get ugly, my guy. So I'm not taking a shot on the Texans, not in week 1, but we'll see, man. Let's go over here to the streets of, man, these motherfuckers, the Redskins, man, the football team, the Commander. This is the dumbest name ever, man. But anyway, I actually like they were paying homage to the Redskins, man. They were the first ones here anyway. All right. Anyway, Commanders start laying 2.5, my guy, versus the Jags. Money coming in on the Jags, down from 3 to 2.5. I'm not laying points with Washington. You know what? I hope Washington wins the game. We're gonna be on Detroit week 2 versus the Commanders. You see what I'm saying? But you like anything in this? Tony Mahil says he likes the over in this one. He had talked me into it. I didn't bet it yet, but 2 bad teams looking to the over. The Jags with Lawrence should be able to put up at least 21 points here. And all you need is the Commanders to put up. You know what I'm saying? They got to put up some too here, Sharp. But Wentz over there, what are you thinking here, my brother?
I think this is tough. Again, you got a lot of moving parts. You got a new coach, Jacksonville, Doug Peterson, coming over here from Philadelphia, Super Bowl run, going back to the Nick Foles special a couple years ago. But, with Carson Wentz now becoming just an absolute journeyman by definition, most people would not have thought that when he was in the running for MVP before an injury in that same season where the Eagles did win the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. But, I mean, this man's never come back from it. I don't know what it is. He's in his own mind. It's not so much his leg and the issue. He's been unable to read defenses, a lot of loose throws. It's been unimpressive, and that's why he's moved teams multiple times in the last couple of years. Obviously, Ron Rivera, we don't really know how good of a coach Ron Rivera is. One Super Bowl appearance with the Panthers. But other than that, we don't know. This is an absolute backwood grease fire game. I mean, when you're betting this, I mean, this is one of those office pool games where you need a line, you need an angle. If you're really targeting this game, I don't know what to tell you. This is not the type of game I'm targeting really ever.
Yeah, no, it's a tough game. I don't think the Jags defense is top tier. You can definitely score some points in them. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Wentz score some points with the Commanders over there. And they're saying that they're not going to double team McLaughlin over there. So he's probably going to go for at least 2 touchdowns. I just feel like this total is pretty low. For one thing I've noticed, 2 bad teams get together, there's going to be points. There might be a fumble or a pick return for a touchdown. Could be a special teams touchdown as well. And I think the offense of the Jags can take some steps. They got some pieces over there. Got ETN back. They got Kirk over there. They got a few receivers back from injury from last year as well. So they have some offense room for the offense to improve. I don't think the defense improve. I think that could definitely get over 44. I hadn't bet it yet, but just did a show with Tony earlier. He talked me into it. Let's get over here to the Vikings real quick. Sharks, there's 3 more games left. Vikings getting 1.5 from the Packers. A lot of questions on the Packers over there. A lot of questions for them, my guys. I feel like this could be one where they maybe figure things out early season, but I think the Packers actually will struggle to start off the season. I like the Vikings here as well, Shark. What we like? We're going official with them Vikes or what?
We are. And dropping it now. I dropped it on Twitter about a month ago, plus 2.5. It's at 1.5 now. That's sharp steam at the max point. And this is my second best look of the week. Bills is number 1, Vikings number 2. A lot going on here. You have to go back to last year. The Vikings lost 9 ball games last year. They lost 8 of those games by 1 possession. And again, we talk about this with other teams and other sports. When a team is so close over and over and over, they're due to come the other direction in their efficiency in the small windows. And of course, a plus 1.5, plus 2.5 speaks to efficiency in a small window. But go even further back to last year, you have to look at how they played at home. I believe they were 5-3 straight up at home. But a key point here, they were 3-0 straight up in the division. A pretty useless effort, but an outright win early season against Detroit, 19-17. And then a key point as we're playing the Packers here, 34-31 win over the Packers, and later on an absolute blowout against the Bears. But I was listening to Aaron Rodgers talk last night. Of course, he lost Devontae Adams. I mean, this was his guy for years. 123 catches last year. You can't replace that. And you can't replace that in terms of the big moments in a game, just knowing where your guy is going to be, his timing, all this stuff. And now I don't have his new receivers written down in front of me, just admittedly, but his quote last night was really telltale, in my opinion. Media was asking about this game, and he said something along the lines of, we're going to go in there. We're going to go into Minnesota. It's just one game. We could play great, but, if we don't play great, remember, it's a long season. He was preemptively pumping the brakes for the media. He was like getting out in front of a loss, basically, before it happens. And I think he knows that they don't really have a lot going on here. I think he knows this is going to be a tough travel spot here in week 1. We're taking Minnesota at plus 2.5. It's a 2-unit special as well. 1.5. I wouldn't talk you up. I think they win the game.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you this right now. When Shark started to listen to those interviews, watch the fuck out, my guys. Watch out. Yeah, I heard him as well. He doesn't like this receiver core, my guys. I can tell you that right. I know Randall Cobb is a baller, and I remember that he wanted Cobb to come back to the team as well. But outside of him, he's gonna be struggling, man. Adams was 3rd down and 5, 3rd down and 6. Who is he throwing the ball to? Adams every single time. It doesn't matter. You can know it too. You can't stop it. I think that's going to be a huge curve for him, Sharp. Now he's got to figure out who his guy is. He's already said during the preseason, man, these young guys got to get on it, man. See what I'm saying? And when Aaron Rodgers says that, and he's telling the media, that means he's really frustrated because he likes to keep a lot of things close to the vest. So when he's telling me, that means he's really pissed off at these receivers. That's what they do. They pass the ball, right? So I like the Vikings as well, man. I like them. I agree with it down to 1.5. I see them win the game. So yeah, Vikings money line. I'm liking it, man. People saying that Aaron Rodgers owned the Vikings. Will it continue? At some point, the Vikings gonna own his ass. He's getting older and older. You don't have your star receiver to throw it to. Let's see what happens there. I like the Vikings in this. Skulls, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Tennessee, man. We got the Nashville. We got the Titans here to start this one. Open up at 6.5, down to 5.5. Most of my guys, man, straight fade of the Titans. We see them taking a huge step back. Maybe not a huge step back, but definitely taking a step back this year. The Giants possibly taking a step up this year. Shard, this isn't a divisional game, but do we like the Giants here plus the points, my guy?
We do. And I said this, it was September 11th, 2022, the 21-year anniversary of September 11th, one of the worst tragedies in this country, the United States. Of course, we know we have international followers. Shout to you guys as well. We never want to centralize just on where we live. It's a ubiquitous, universal power, this channel. But that all being said, New York Giants come in here. I'm at 6.5. It's down to 5.5 now. 1 unit play. Jay said it. Tennessee is due to take a step back. Tennessee has gotten a little too hot recent years. I don't like Mike Vrabel at the head coaching position at all. I think he's kind of a meathead, to be perfectly honest. I don't think he's adjustable. I think his scheme is a little flat, and they over-rely on Derrick Henry, of course. And I think that Ryan Tannehill, honestly, coming over from Miami was the biggest bright spot in that whole thing. Just a surprise of him coming up in his career after a fledgling career prior. But that all being said, you go back to last year, the Giants cratered down the stretch similar to the Ravens. The Giants come in here on a 6-game losing streak to close the season last year. Go back to early season when Daniel Jones was not injured. They started the season last year 3-1 ATS on the road with 2 very impressive out-of-division road performances, a 20-17 very tight loss at Kansas City, and an overtime outright win at New Orleans. And one final point on this game. This is a trap game for Tennessee. Tennessee plays week 2 Monday Night Football at Buffalo. So they get the Giants. Giants are scrappy. They're reloaded. Brian Dable, offensive coordinator, coming over here from the Bills to really rejuice the offense. And Saquon Barkley is fully healthy. He's giving some damn good quotes in the media too about how he's ready to kick some ass. You know, he was a hell of a fucking product at Penn State. Some injuries. I think he's adjusted to the pro game a little bit. You know, you go back generations before Reggie Bush, Heisman Trophy, had to adjust to the pro game. Took him some time, and he found his niche with the Saints. I think Saquon had to adjust a little bit. He's not always going to get a step. The edge is not always wide open in professional football. Saquon's ready to go. Jones is ready to go. Dable's ready to go. This is a trap spot waiting to happen. Giants plus 6.5, 1 unit.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it. I could see the Giants winning this game as well. Definitely keep it within 3 points. I think Saquon was good. Just kind of the injuries start to pile up. I think his first year, he still balled out, though. He showed the NFL that he was that guy. He was hard to take down. Injuries, though, it can happen to anybody, and the team was trash, so you're not going to force through injuries when your team is ass. But like the Giants there, it's a little bit less on the Giants, more fading on the Titans, where we don't think they should be laying this high of a point spread in week 1, where they could definitely lose this one outright. More motivation on the dog here in the Giants. Like the points in this one, my guys. Last game up, Sunday Night Football. We're going to my streets here. Dallas Cowboys plus 2.5 versus the Bucs. A rematch of last year's opening game. What did the Bucs do? They laid 9 points. They should have lost the game, end up barely winning, but that Super Bowl fade of the champs, man, it happened. This is the revenge spot this year. Don't like that Prescott and some of the guys hadn't been getting a lot of work in the preseason, but I know Tom Brady come back, a lot of distractions. He's obviously he's older, 45, 46-year-old, still a baller, but this Bucs team is getting older, man. They lost some key pieces as well. The Cowboys, now, can they get Peters ready? They lost the offensive lineman or whatever, but it's a tough game. As Cowboys are nothing for me there, so I can tell you that, especially at the house, revenge spot. I lean Cowboys. I feel like they'll get the job done here Sunday Night Football, and I think this will be – everybody will be taking the Bucs as well on this one. I like the dog in this Sunday Night Football game, Sharp.
Yeah, I agree. When I looked at this, and I haven't played this yet, I usually, as you guys know, I go 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock later slate. But I like Dallas here as well. I think the line is incredibly short. As you mentioned, the opener last year, -9, comes down to 2.5. Very, very short. Dallas could have easily won that game last year, 31-29.
Yeah.
And again, Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, new coach. I forgot the guy's name, Bowles or whatever. There's a lot of moving parts here schematically. This is a defensive coach. Previous coach, Arians, was obviously an offensive guy, QB coach for Peyton Manning years prior to the whole thing. But the personnel is all over the place. Julio Jones, Godwin, I believe, game time decision. And ultimately, Dallas needs to stand the hell up in this generation. Dak Prescott, year after year after year, looks good, shows signs, good leader, all the talking points. They never really get anything done. And I know Dallas Cowboys fans, of course, are all over the country, and they're waiting for something to really cheer about. It's not about a loss in the first round of the playoffs or, going 3 games over 500. This team needs to get to the second round. They need to get to the conference finals. I mean, this team needs to get to the goddamn Super Bowl. This has been years and years and years, decades of just middle ground futility. It's pathetic. And I think this line is telling you a Dallas story here on Sunday night, Jay.
Yeah, apparently the Bucks are going to win by 5 million points. Apparently, they're going to break the scoreboard. Apparently, my guy Mo saying, "Man, Brady been sleeping on the couch. Cuz been sleeping over there at the hotel and shit. Man, he can't even sleep with his girl. I got kicked out the house, man. Nah, he definitely been. His girl was not a fan of him coming back out of retirement, but it happens, man. It happens, my guys. My guy Derek in the chat saying Ezekiel Elliott is done. Hey, Pollard is better than Elliott, man, but we'll see what happens. He's a lot stronger, kind of a third down back. Pollard's been the third down back, but I think he should be the first and second and let Elliott be the third down. But it's a whole nother conversation there, man. We just broke down every game other than the Monday night game. We can't do everyone. We will get to it, my guys. But 45-minute show, 46 minutes we've been on here, broke you down with top plays, with official plays for week 1, my guys. Real quick, let's talk about some shirts, man. We still got plenty of shirts. Jay and Shark shirts, Smack City, us against the bookies. Plenty of shirts over there, man. Go hit us up, jakemoneyismoney.com, or just shoot one of us a DM, my guys. Now, to some free NFL picks, Shark. What you liking tonight, Thursday night, and you like anything on the NFL card for week 1, my brother, or week 2?
Yeah, no, I think we did miss 2 games, actually. I don't know if you wanted to discuss.
What did we miss?
The Chiefs game at Arizona.
Oh, shit. How did I miss that one? Fuck. How did I miss that one?
And your special, Vegas at the Chargers.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed. I didn't have the banners made for him. I'm slipping, man. I'm slipping. I can tell you this. It's Chiefs or nothing for me. Too much shit going on with Arizona there. And yeah, let's talk about them real quick. Chiefs versus Cardinals, Shark. This line was at 4 basically all summer. Got hit up to 6. That's sharp money there coming in on the Chiefs there. The Cardinals could struggle here to come out of the gate. We know that Hopkins, he's going to be out for 6 games for PEDs or some shit like that. He's not catching enough heat for that. I did not like cheaters, guys. I don't give a damn. You could say it was, I ate some run, man. Come on, bro. Motherfuckers been cheating. It's always somebody that had breakout years and shit. Look at Tatis in baseball. You see what I'm saying? You have breakout years, get all that money, and then it's come out that you've been cheating. Take that money away from them. But anyway, the Cardinals here, Shark. Then JJ Watt kind of hurt as well. What do you think? I lean Chiefs here to get the year started off right.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a lot of steam in the Chiefs' direction. This line was -3.5 going back about a month ago. And as you mentioned, no DeAndre Hopkins, and that's also a different conversation. PEDs in the NFL largely get just pushed under the rug. It's just run of the mill. It's they train, they're recovering, whatever. If you did this in baseball, the national media would be on his ass, putting him, into the doghouse. And they don't. And it's crazy just how subjective the media really is. They select when they want to blast people, and that's it. And baseball, you can't get away with shit. Football, you can do whatever the hell you want. But that being said, this line is steamed to Kansas City. Arizona did start the season last year 7-0 straight up. Maybe an anomaly. I think they were beating down on mostly poor teams. Of course, that did start to crater down on a 24-21 loss at home to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And then they really fell off down the stretch, culminating in a brutal loss in the first round of the playoffs at the Rams, 34-11. I would agree with you. I think the steam is telling a reasonable story here. I think the Cardinals are hard to figure out. You guys remember in the offseason, there was a weird story about how Kyler Murray had to have something written into his contract about studying film. And then he came out and basically said, like, I know the film, like it's like glued into my mind. I don't need to watch it because I'm just like that smart. I mean, who knows what's going on here? I've said from the very beginning, Kingsbury was a weird hire coming out of college, Texas Tech. How sustainable is this? You know, I think he got early wind, new scheme. Teams didn't know what was coming. Now, all of a sudden, teams get a couple years of Kingsbury offense. They can adjust to it. Again, lean Kansas City for an office pool. I don't have anything on this game officially, though.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Chiefs going to take them to Smack City. Further on that, now they had Murray kind of calling plays in a few of the preseason games as well. Him and Kingsbury, you know what, Shark? I actually think there is some merit. I don't think they like each other. Murray is an asshole. I know people all the way back that went to high school with this guy and college saying this guy has been cocky his whole freaking life, man. Even in high school, obviously these guys went undefeated, won championship every single year, but the guy has just been cocky his whole life, man. And so real men don't like that shit, man. You've made to the NFL now. You're with all other big dogs. You don't have to act like you're the best player in the school anymore. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing with Murray and Kingsbury. He even told him call some plays in the preseason game. Since you think you know every damn thing, they're really going at it. That could be some of that info could be in on the money. Guys, some came in heavy for this. It doesn't really matter where the money's going, but this shit went to -4 to -6. Like literally, somebody hit that shit, bro. Like probably some M's came in. I like the Chiefs in that game. I think they'll win by touchdown or more. The Cardinals, ton of question marks going on with them right now. I'm liking the Chiefs in that game. Let's go over here to the streets of LA real quick. Not the Rams, but the Chargers here, guys. You got the revenge spot. Remember, guys, epic game last year, 35-32. Whoever won, it was literally like the last game of the season. Whoever wins goes to the champion, goes to the playoffs or whatever. Maybe last year the Raiders were a little bit more deserving. This year, I feel like it's the Chargers year. I feel like Justin Herbert is one of the new faces of the NFL, one of the better quarterbacks in the league as well. Added guys like Khalil Mack over there to the defense to shore up that side. They have no problems on the offense. It was the defense. I think Mack is definitely going to help out with that. A quarterback of the defense over there. I like the Chargers here. I did take a -3. You said -3.5 other spots. I like the Chargers with some playoff revenge. Get this year started off right, my guy. I know that the Raiders got Adams and stuff, but this is a Charger spot for me at the house. I like the Charger. I know it's a toss-up game, but I'm going with my angle here, Shark.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. And of course, you mentioned the recent history of it, which I do think adds to the emotional component to the game. I mean, that was, as you mentioned, for the playoffs, and it was just a divisional game, and it's Justin Herbert coming into his early prime. I mean, the guy's a gunslinger. There's just no way around it. And, of course, Brandon Staley coming over, the defensive coordinator from the Rams 2 years ago. I should mention the Rams have lost their defensive and offensive coordinator going back to the last two seasons. Everybody wants to talk about the Bills' offensive coordinator. The Rams lost both. So just another point out, we're coming back. Bangers on fucking Thursday night here. But this game is really tough for me. As you mentioned, you got the 3. The 3 is very important. 3.5 is a tough line in professional football. That hook can be really difficult in games that do come down to a field goal. I got nothing on this, but I think you mentioned you like this one quite a bit.
Yeah, I like the Charge here. I don't like them more than the Bills, but I do like the Charge. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna take this one. Then I got to looking, I'm like, hold on, no, fuck that. This playoff revenge. I'm hopping on the Chargers, man. I'm going with my gut. That was one of the things that I already liked the matchup between both teams. Then I looked back at it last year. I'm like, no, I know they're gonna come in. They've been thinking about the Raiders all offseason. It's one of those where it's like, okay, we're going to be ready for week 1 to come out and smash y'all ass, man. All right, now let's get to some free picks here. We went through every game on Sunday night. Only one we didn't do is the Monday night. We'll do that one later, my guys. I promise you. Now to some free picks. Shark, break them down with your officials, my brother.
Yeah, 3 top plays. One for tonight, Thursday, September 8th, 2022. Buffalo -2, 2 units. Full details to open the show. Of course, we're at 53 minutes here. Jay, we could talk forever, I swear to God. And, of course, we'll be coming back here October 18th. NBA shows 6 days a week. We appreciate you guys in the chat. It's been 3.5 months. The energy never left. It's better than ever. And that's the top play for tonight. Sunday, we have Vikings at +2.5, 2 units. Giants +6.5, 1 unit. And I will post the rest of the plays for the Circa Millions competition, which I'm doing this year out of Las Vegas. And it's an opportunity to dominate. Jay Money, a pleasure. Close them out and let's go.
Let's go, man. Let's get some cash. It's Thursday night. It's the first night of the NFL season. I bet this game a while ago. I got casino tickets sitting right over next to me. That's waiting to be cashed, my guys. We will win, my guys. Get some cash. I need the Bills here, guys. I took them -1.5. I still need them to win by fucking 3, 7, whatever. I need the 1.5 to be honest with you, but I'll still go official with -2.5. I don't care. I like the Bills. Where you want to take the 2.5 or the money line -135. I couldn't talk you off. I like the Bills here. I think this shit might get ugly as well. And I'm glad you reminded me about this, Shark, about the new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator for the Rams there. Still got McVay over there. Still got maybe Stafford is not at 100%. That's a lot of things that are going into this one, man. I like the Bills. Could be the Super Bowl champs. Facing the defending champs here, like the Bills tonight. Also put a little something on we'll say that's a half unit on the under 25.5 on the first half. Could see both offenses starting out slow. The defense being ahead of the offense is really what it is. Out of the main offensive guys, really didn't play a lot of snaps in the 3 preseason games. You could argue this is kind of sort of like a preseason game, my guys. So that's it for tonight. On Sunday, my guys, I'm on Steelers +6.5. I'm on the Vikings money line, Chargers -3. And for some good teaser option, guys, I wouldn't talk anyone out of throwing the 49ers in there, Ravens in there, or Chiefs in there, guys. Whether you're doing chart or whether you're doing teasers or money line parlays, they're basically going to pay out around the same on those 6-point teasers. 2 teams, 6-point teasers in the NFL is -110, guys. So that's something that I could not talk you off with. I know people that literally only bet teasers to beat the numbers over there, teasing dogs up. But just I want to make this clear. You want to tease through key numbers, guys. You want to tease through. I say if you're a dog, you want to take something that's like 2.5 and take them past the 7 through the 3, 4, and 7s. And if you got like somewhere a touchdown favorite, like the Ravens, like the 49ers or Chiefs, you tease them down. It's basically like a money line parlay. You're getting them at -0.5, -1. Basically, just need them to win the game, my guys. I'm just trying to help. Let's get some cash. We will win, my guys. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Appreciate your time, most of all, my guys. Let's get some cash, my guys. Let's cash these bills. Start off the season with fucking 1-0. Let's go 1-0 one time for the one time, Shark. I appreciate you as well. Go follow him on Twitter at Sharks in Sports. Let me pop it up real quick. I got to get the banner off there. At Sharks in Sports, man. You go follow me. You can follow me as well at J Money is Money. We will be back doing this all season. College football, NFL, and y'all know we doing some NBA as well. We out, my guys. Let's cash.